our final topic for the day, which is going to be the Pokemon Presents that we had this past week. I will say one thing that was pretty interesting with this Pokemon Presents. For the most part, the internet was actually all positive for once, which doesn't happen with Pokemon. I mean, that
doesn't happen with Nintendo in general.
That's true. It doesn't, which is why it was so shocking. I mean, you still had your haters out there. I mean, you did, but for the most part, everyone was actually really positive after this. I was like, oh shit, turning of a new page. Let's go.
That's because they distracted everyone with the Pokemon Legends at the end.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, even Legends, it was, believe it, I mean, I don't know if you've seen this, John, but it was actually received very mixed with the initial reveal earlier this year. Just because everyone...
Oh, yeah. It was different, but it didn't look that great when they first showed it off.
I was about to say, when they first showed it, it didn't look good at all.
It was like, okay, well, here's your concept. Now show me something good.
And I will say, even with this, it did obviously look a lot better. There's a lot of aspects that look really solid, but I do think the world itself could still be improved upon. I do know the game is finished. The game is finished because we do have the full gig download amount. It will be 13 gigs for the game. So now they are in the polishing phase. So should be polished out pretty well.
I think the best thing that came out of the Legends things, it evolves by absorbing the souls of all its dead.
Fuck, that's so fucked. That's so fucked. All right.
It's such a cheery voice.
I know, man. That was Necra Gaming, too. I'm listening to her say that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is dark. Anyway, so let's run through the presents. So they kick things off with Pokemon Unite news. Sylveon was officially announced. We knew that from data mining. And then we got a surprise announcement of Mamoswine revealed.
Thick boy.
Get your Blastoise talk out of here. We got Mamoswine.
Yeah, okay. Dude, Mamoswine, the little bit they showed looked legit. I'm pumped for Mamoswine. We do have an official mobile release of September 22nd. I'm kind of curious when these Mons are going to come out. I would assume Blastoise is going to be next, right?
Never.
Yeah, never at this point, but I'm pumped for Mamoswine, man. Mamoswine looks like a blast.
Honestly, when they showed off Mamoswine, I went, there's a new jungle camp, and then playable characters, someone's going to think that's a jungle camp and get wrecked.
Right. They showed a little bit on Pokemon Cafe Mix and renamed it Pokemon Cafe Remix.
Fucking cop out on that name.
Hey, I mean, at least it's better when they came up with Pokemon Master Sex, when that started trending all over Twitter. Capitalization. It's important, everyone. Speaking of Pokemon Masters, they are going to be celebrating the 2-year anniversary. A bunch of legendary sync pairs, including In and Reshiram, for example. I know right now, I believe Leon and Eternius is in the game. Lots of different sync pairs are going to come back, and some other legendary Mons that you can pair up with. Pokemon, and then we got a good look at Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, a Shining Pearl. Okay, so what we got going on here, some old features, of course, set to return, like the Underground contest stickers. Contest actually look pretty dope now. The Underground coming back is cool. You can build your own secret bases and everything like you could once upon a time, dig for fossils, etc. But the one thing that is new is it's called Pokemon Hideaways. So this is found in the Grand Underground, whatever, and basically the Pokemon Hideaways is it's their cop-out to fix the Dex problem. Because I mentioned to you, Zach, how the original Diamond and Pearl only literally had 5 fire Pokemon. That was it. 3 of them being the starters.
I thought it was funny where during it when they were showing off the hideaways, they were just like, and you can only find certain Pokemon here, Houndour.
Exactly. They specifically showed off the fire types. And when it comes to your secret bases are actually going to matter now because the different statues that you can put on there will help
determine what that hideout is.
Exactly. So, I mean, at least they are fixing the decks in some capacity. I would have just preferred, hey, let's just make it bring in some platinum elements, put in you don't have to go to hideaways, just put them on fucking routes. It's not a big deal.
Oh man, this is Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, not some sort of platinum.
I know. But hey, we are going to get Overworld Pokemon plus following Pokemon again. It's always cool to see that come back. Following Pokemon is dope. They don't use it enough, so it is cool to see that being a thing. You can customize your hair and clothing, whatever, and there is going to be a special edition Switch Lite releasing on November 5th. This Switch Lite is an exact, basically, replica in terms of design of the Diamond and Pearl DS that came out 10 years ago.
I feel like we just talked about them needing to make more.
We did, yeah. So shout out to that, man. There's also going to be a Manaphy egg that you can get in a mystery gift, whatever. That's going to be running until February of next year. But as a massive Diamond and Pearl fan, overall, I mean, I was very impressed with everything they showed. I'm I'm super pumped for this. I'm gonna hold out a sliver of hope that there will be some platinum elements within the game. I feel like throughout the trailer, with a couple things they said, where it's just like another world and stuff, like they specified how that was worded. I was like, that could be referencing the distortion world. That's a platinum thing. So I was like, okay, that would be dope. I mean, so I'm going to hope for some platinum elements. I at this point, I don't think there's going to be a lot of. I really do think these are going to be pretty faithful remakes with a couple of exceptions. But I mean, overall, I personally was very pleased with everything they showed. The games obviously definitely looked a lot better, from the original reveal earlier, and just tree textures, just the way your character looks and everything looked a lot better. But I'm personally really pumped for these games. I'm ready to get the double pack in my hands and play through them again. And then the obviously the big one, what closed out the show, took like 15 minutes of the show out of this 28-minute presents, Pokemon Legends Arceus. So first and foremost, it is still set for the release date that it is. That is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, oh, we're going to delay it a little bit. Nope, still set for January 28th, 2022. So that's going to be an awesome way to kick off the new year. We did get an official name for the region called the Hisuiya region. This is obviously, as we already knew, pre-Sinnoh, but we do have the name for the region itself. You're going to be part of a survey group building that first Pokedex.
Yeah, research team is what it says. I enjoyed the professor in it because he's just like, hey, these are 3 Pokemon I found in my travels. Which one you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
Which, one thing that I want to point out with this survey team, the logo for it was hella sus to me because it looks like the Team Galactic logo, kind of like just really altered.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what, when I saw that logo, I'm like, that's Team Galactic. Like, that is 1000% Team Galactic. I'm not buying this shit at all. And then obviously we already know, like, the leader of the survey team is like Rowan's ancestor. We already know that. And then one of the other members of the survey team, I don't know if it was confirmed in this, but just from looks, from appearance, I'm willing to bet is an ancestor of Cyrus, who is the boss of Team Galactic. So there's going to be some sketchy shit going on in this survey group. I'm calling it right now. Now, a couple cool things that was revealed. I'm not a massive Gen 7 fan, but one cool thing that they did introduce was the regional variant forms, and I'm glad those have not gone away because we do have Hisuian forms on the way with Growlithe and Braviary, for example, Growlithe being a fire rock type, looking adorable as ever. And I gotta say, I'm really excited to see what Arcanine's going to look like, because if you guys happen to remember, Arcanine was supposed to be a legendary Pokemon back in Gen 1. I mean, hell, even the original Indigo League anime teased it as a legendary Pokemon in one of the first episodes where Ash looked at the big tablet and it showed the 3 birds and it showed Arcanine.
Yeah, and you could sort of see it even when we got the 3 legendary dogs, you could sort of see it in Entei and Growlithe, sort of similar looks.
Yep. So I'm really excited to see who knows? May not even be Arcanine. Could just be a new evolution. That's another thing to keep in mind. That is possible. I mean, look at Galarian Mr. Mime going to Mr. Rhyme, so could just be an entire, or Galarian Meowth going to a Berserker, for example. So it could just be a whole new evolution, but super excited to see what it turns into. Braviary being a psychic normal type looks pretty cool. You can use Braviary to actually fly around the region. And from what they were showing, you can actually fly yourself. It's not going to be like the Corviknight taxi where it just immediately screen switch takes you fly yourself, which is pretty dope. We did get 2 Hisuian evolutions that were revealed. Warrior, the evolution of Stantler making a comeback. Stantler being important.
It's about goddamn time.
Yeah, he's going to be a normal psychic, I believe is what it was, and you can ride him. So, John, I bet you're pumped for that, riding that deer around the region.
And now everyone's favorite ghost fish.
He looks so adorable.
He does look really dope. He looks majestic as fuck. And then, yes, the ghost fish, which, first off, I got to say, one of the best names in Pokemon, Basculegion. The evolved form of Basculin, a Gen 4 Pokemon that's been unbelievably irrelevant. Is it Gen 4? Might be Gen 5. Basculin might be a Gen 5. Where the only relevance to it is that, you have a blue stripe or you have a red stripe. Go catch it. That's the only relevance. Other than that, it's a shitty mon. But now you have Basculegion, a giant-ass fish that you can ride through the waters. And like we mentioned when we first started talking about this, the evolution for it sounds dark as fuck. Because how it evolves is that it basically takes on the souls of other Basculin that died when trying to go upstream.
And those souls push it forward to continue swimming upstream.
It's so, man, I love love the lore of Pokemon, man, because some of them are so dark, dude. They really are. Because I know, like, I think it was Hatine. Hatine, one of the new Gen 8 Mons. Like, the lore basically says if you're too loud, it's going to beat you to death up front. It will literally murder you in cold blood. Because I saw a funny meme about it recently where it's just like, you know, if you're crying, you know, Blissey will like bring you an egg. You're like, here you go, here's an egg, be happy. But then it's like, you know, the other one, you know, Hatterene is the one I'm referencing. Hatine is one of the evolutions. It's like Hatterene was like, will beat you to death if you're too loud. So like if you're out in the Pokemon world, you got a 50-50 chance of getting an egg or getting your shit wrecked and dying. So, and speaking of dying, one thing they made sure to kind of showcase in this is that you can be attacked by the Pokemon, like you as the trainer.
Yeah.
So I guess you can die out there. You can die from an Ursaring chasing you down.
What I loved was one of the comments where people were just like, oh, how the times have changed. Who's in the grass now, Pokemon?
Yeah, exactly. Lurk around the grass trying to capture them, get the notes on them and stuff. Overall, what was you guys' thoughts on this? You know, were you guys overall pretty impressed? Because me personally, I'm all in on this. This looks dope. I'm here for it. You know, it's also obviously basically a Gen 4 game. You know, being pre-Sinnoh, so I'm automatically in on that. But what do you guys think on it?
I mean, I'm much more hyped for it. I mean, originally when it was announced and whatnot, I was sort of like, another Pokemon game. But now actually them showing stuff, everything, and we sort of getting this pre-gens game.
Right.
I'm actually very much looking forward and curious to see how it goes. And also curious of if they might do this in some other regions and what now going forward.
That would be dope.
And things like that.
That would be super cool. What about you, John?
I'm actually excited about Pokemon Legends now.
Okay.
Because before it sounded like an interesting idea what they were going for, but they didn't really show us a whole lot, and what they did show us didn't look too spectacular. Now it actually looks pretty good, and we didn't even talk about the varying combat system now.
That's true. Strong style, and was it just quick style?
Agile style.
Agile. Thank you.
So having the ability to change between your two different styles and be able to go multiple times in a row is actually going to probably drastically change up how battles work sometimes.
Oh, it most definitely is because, yeah, as John was saying, it's more or less changed instead of just a straight turn-based, you hit them, they hit me. It's now has actual RPG turn-based, and as he was saying, you can use the strong style, agile style, or you can just use the regular attack by itself without a style.
Yeah. And it's got a turn order like in the top right of the screen for the battles, and depending on your speed stat determines not only if you go before them, but how many times you go before them.
Mm-hmm. One random tidbit, and one random tidbit I want to throw out there, and that I also want to capitalize on this conversation as well, is one thing that I'm curious about is when it comes to our 3 starters that you get to see, being Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet, do you guys think there's a possibility that we could get some sort of alternate final evolution forms for them, or is it you think it's going to be the standard ones?
I mean, I could see it. Whether they actually choose to do it is questionable.
It is questionable.
But because the whole fact that, as I mentioned, the professor's like, these are Pokemon I found in my travels, so that sort of implies that he got them from the original regions rather than that region itself. So if they did do that, that'd be sort of surprising. It'd be definitely cool, but I don't lean towards it.
I'm ready to play with my boy Oshawott, that's for sure. And capitalizing on this conversation about the battle style and stuff, one thing that was announced in this Presents that I just remembered is when it comes to VGC will be staying on Sword and Shield in the future. It will not be on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. And in fact, I don't know if they even mentioned if Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to have online, battle play. If it does, they did say they will not have a ranked ladder. That I know they did say. So I'm assuming they will have the battle play, which that is how Diamond and Pearl was. They didn't have a ranked ladder either. So now the question is, with VGC staying on Sword and Shield, which honestly makes sense, Sword and Shield's a very successful game and a great game for VGC. Great game for competitive Pokemon because of what they did in the game itself to make competitive Pokemon so easy to get into. Do you think for maybe a Gen 9, if this new styling that they've done for Legends is received really well, do you think that could be implemented into future mainline games? That's a tough question.
I mean, I most definitely think it could, Because, I mean, the gameplay that we saw from the Presents, I'm very interested in. It's definitely changed from just the walk around, find Pokemon, attack. So I'd be very much more for this style if it plays well.
Right.
I don't know if it would be implemented, at least not for a long time, because I would assume if it's received well when it comes out, they may look into like another region doing it that we're already familiar with, and maybe not necessarily like going back in time or anything and showing us what it used to look like, but may just give us a region we've already explored before in the style of this game, or something similar to that. But as far as like a future generation being that style, they would probably have to see multiple like grand successes from games like in this different style.
Right. That makes sense. And you know what? Still talking about the VGC thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, for VGC to be staying in Sword and Shield, I really don't. And you know, one thing I got to say involving VGC, man, it is a real shame that VGC it really got hurt because of COVID. A lot of events got canceled. Obviously, the Worlds got canceled and everything, and that sucks for it because you had so many new players getting into competitive Pokemon because of how easy it was to get in competitive Pokemon. You know, as I've said before, this game, you know, Sword and Shield, it does so much to make VGC so, you know, easy to get into. So, you know, from what I saw online, not the random fans, the random players, right, are the ones bitching about the fact that VGC is staying on Sword and Shield. I saw a lot of actual competitive players like Wolfie, like Aaron Cybertron Zhang, for example, and others who have said that, hey, I don't think this is a bad thing. Sword and Shield is great for the competitive game. And I agree with them, just looking at it from, you know, the point of view of how easy competitive is to get into. I am curious what Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is going to do for any sort of battling, because I know one common issue for Sword and Shield that it has a dog shit timer for singles play. You know, there's a lot of singles players who basically don't get to have their experience because of the shit timer in Sword and Shield that cannot be changed. So I'm curious if Diamond and Pearl will fix that, and if that happens, will we see singles play? You know, obviously not on an official Pokemon level, but will we see singles play transition over to BDSP as its primary game? That is one thing that I am curious to see.
No, we're going to get competitive Pokemon tournament or contest.
Let's fucking do it. I'm in. I'll do it. I'll do it, and let's go. But overall, I mean, the Pokemon Presents was, to me, a massive success. Like I said, a lot of people were actually very positive about it. No real negativity on this game, which is out of the norm. Legends was received very well. BDSP was received very well. I mean, overall, I think there's a lot to be excited for right now as a Pokemon fan over the next 6 months or so. Looking forward to getting like I said, the double pack for BDSP. Kind of thinking about getting that special edition Switch, because I still regret to this day not buying the Sword and Shield one. Still regret that to this day. I had one in front of me and I did not buy it. That was a mistake. I regret that every single day of my life. So may pick up this special edition Switch, but I mean, really that does it for the show though. Unless you guys have any final thoughts on any the Pokemon stuff.
I mean, I don't really have any final thoughts. I mean, overall, the presentation was good. Legends looked good. Definitely more hype about it. I might try Gen 4 for the first time with the remakes coming out in November. Gonna strictly not use fire Pokemon just to spite you.
That's fine. It's not gonna spite me. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't use fire Pokemon through like my first 2 playthroughs, so it is what it is to me. John, what about you? Any last thoughts on the Pokemon Presents?
Kind of like Zach said, overall, I enjoyed it. It was a pretty well done.
Yes, it is raining.
Just want to make sure.
It was a pretty well done kind of presentation that they had. For the most part, I'd say I liked the Pokemon Unite news. Getting the surprise Mamoswine there really kind of made that for me. Everything else I was kind of expecting. It's like it kind of not much they're gonna do with that's gonna shock you.
In which the Mamoswine thing was interesting, considering it was not amongst any of the data mine stuff that.
True. True. This one was one they were just kind of working on in secret, I guess.
That's honestly what kind of made it exciting. Is everybody's been hearing about all these other characters, move sets for them, and everything, and then the team over there is just like, man, you think you know what's going on over here.
You think you know you're getting a fat squirrel. Well, here's Mammoth's wife.